Okay, so we're going to open up a project, and this is going to be activity 831, rotoscoping. Okay, so if we have a look at this, it's basically just a little piece of footage of a guy doing a flip kick on a skateboard. And what we have done is put it in 3 layers. So we've got the same piece of footage at the bottom, exactly the same. And then we've got some text that says kickflip, and then we've got the same footage at the top. So what I want is the footage at the top. I want to actually mask out the character so that if I just press T, transparency, and change it, so that that kickflip text is behind him but in front of the footage at the back, so it kind of looks like the text is embedded in the scene. This is a common technique used. So what I'm going to do is hide the bottom 2 layers. Those will already be hidden for you if you've just opened this. Set the opacity back up to 100, and for this top layer we're going to mask out this character. Now you've learned all sorts of masking techniques so far, and you could try and use the pen tool to select around the guy, but you're going to have to literally go frame by frame and adjust the path to mask out this guy. Now that process is called rotoscoping, and before the RotoBrush tool, which is the one that we're going to use, that is the way it used to be done. It would take hours and hours to do, because some poor guy would have to sit and move the points frame by frame to mask out the character. Very tedious work, but the RotoBrush is much quicker. So with that layer selected, we're going to go up here to this tool, which is the RotoBrush tool. We're going to click on it, and then we need to double click on this layer to open it as a layer preview. So double click on it and it opens up in the layer viewer, and now we can work on it. So the RotoBrush works like this. If you hold down Command on the Mac or Control on Windows and drag, you can change the size of the brush. And then what you're going to do is you're going to, making sure that this button is the one that's on, toggle alpha boundary. Okay, so we want that one on so that we can actually see the mask. And then the green brush is when we are masking. So I'm just going to paint over the guy. Let me just try that again. Okay, paint over the guy. And this is going to mask him. And you can see that little magenta or pink line is showing us the mask. And also I need to be at 100% zoom, or sorry, to fit zoom, so I'm seeing the whole footage. And I'm just going to make it bigger and also fit it so that I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so, and I want to include the skateboard. Okay, I'm not going to be too OCD about it, because obviously this takes time. You can take a little bit more time, but also remember with moving footage it's very forgiving, so if you skip a little bit of detail here and there, you're hardly going to notice it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go forward 1 frame. So with my preview panel here, I'm going to go forward and watch that magenta line and watch it adjusting. Okay, so it's gone forward and it's missing his hand. So I'm going to go in here, take that. If you go too far, so if I do that, I just hold down Alt and I get a red brush and I can subtract that bit. Okay, I'm actually just going to undo that instead, back to there. Okay, and we're just going to go forward frame by frame. Okay, so there, it's missing a lot of stuff here, so I'm just going to select, and also some of his board. And here I've taken too much, so Alt, let's get that back, and there as well. And then forward, let's get his legs. Okay, so you get the idea. So I'm going to go through this whole process, and I'm going to fast forward it so you don't have to watch the whole thing, and you're going to follow suit, and then once I've finished this process, I'll continue. Okay, so I've finished going through that, and it's pretty quick. I mean, it just took me a couple of minutes. So now what we're going to do, and just make this a bit smaller again, is we're going to go back to the composition view, and you'll see now he is actually masked out. Okay, which is exactly what we wanted. So that would take hours and hours and hours to do if we were using the pen tool and masking and animating our mask. So this has saved us a heck of a lot of time. So now all we need to do is to show our text layer and our original layer, and now by magic it appears as though the skateboarder is in front of the text. And if I just play this back, we have that result. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and see you next time.